What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 16:34 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from here in the United States. So late last night and early this morning, we had high priority nuclear codes transmitted by U.S. nuclear forces. They're actually still being transmitted right now this afternoon. And these are the skymaster messages. If you don't know what they are, you can do some quick research about them. But these are the highest priority nuclear codes that are transmitted by U.S. nuclear forces. The only thing that's higher priority than a skymaster message is the emergency war order, which is the literal order to launch nukes, okay? But skymaster messages can be thought of as very high priority traffic by U.S. nuclear forces on the HF radio frequencies, and typically skymaster messages are used to transmit arming codes, okay? So arming codes are not actually launch codes. You have the arming codes, which actually arm the missiles. So it's kind of like cocking the hammer back on a revolver or taking the safety off of a semi-automatic pistol, okay? Very similar to doing that. And then the launch order given by the president, or the emergency war order, which is confirmed by the defense secretary, is the actual squeezing of the trigger, okay? So basically, we are now at cocked pistol. The safety is off for some reason. Why? I have no idea. It appears that this could be a threat to the U.S. mainland, possibly from Russia, based on some reconnaissance aircraft that have been flying in the United States this afternoon. They've been basically aiming their ISR equipment towards the North Pole, and we know that because a lot of these reconnaissance planes have side-looking ISR equipment, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance equipment. So they look out to the sides of the aircraft, and the aircraft were flying east to west in various areas of the U.S., which means that they were looking north to south, okay? So some of these recon planes are in areas that they normally don't fly in, like northern Michigan, northern Wisconsin. They were flying east to west, like 100-mile wide loop back and forth, which is very unusual, which means that they're looking up into Canada. Why would the U.S. need to send recon planes up to the Great Lakes to look up into Canada unless there's some kind of threat coming from Canada? What kind of threat would be coming from Canada other than maybe a rogue Chinese balloon? Okay, would be missiles coming over the North Pole from Russia. Okay, but that's just a hypothesis. The one thing that we know for sure of is that dozens of skymaster messages were transmitted today since about 3 a.m. And I believe I was the first one to hear the skymasters, and we went live at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I do have a recording of one of these skymaster messages, and you'll hear a 4-character message, okay? When they send out these 4-character messages, they're known as blind transmissions. So they're just a one-way message, and they mean something. What they mean, we don't know. But typically, like I said, it's to arm some kind of a weapon, or it's giving instructions to a specific unit to do something as part of the launch sequence in the event of some kind of an escalation. You know, it's very possible that Russia is now on very high alert, and maybe they're going to strike the U.S. with nukes. What's very concerning about this particular skymaster message is that the code actually spells out to be YARS, okay? So Yankee Alpha Romeo Sierra is the 4-character code in this message that I was able to record at around 3:30 a.m. And so Yankee Alpha Romeo Sierra, that becomes YARS if you write that out, YARS. And do you know what YARS is? That's for the RS-24 YARS, which is a Russian ICBM, okay, a road mobile ICBM. And also late last night, when the Skymaster messages were first beginning their transmissions, all of Ukraine lit up in an air raid alert, and then just 15 minutes later it got canceled. So I don't know if this is related to Russia striking Ukraine with Oreshniks again. I don't know if this is related to a nuclear threat to the U.S. homeland. We do know that the Ukrainians hit the Engels air base in Saratov, Russia last night with a drone. Okay, the Engels air base is one of Russia's strategic bomber bases. They have several strategic bomber bases, but Engels is one of their main bomber bases. And Ukraine just hit that base with drones, okay? So it's possible that Putin could just skip the Oreshnik strikes and launch straight on America. Now, in addition to that, we also have Trump talking about purchasing Greenland, and he sent his son over there the other day, okay? And Greenland is very strategic in terms of a nuclear war between Russia and the U.S. Greenland is very, very important, and if the U.S. were to acquire Greenland, that means we could put early warning radars there that would help us to detect missiles faster. And this update was sponsored by NYPrepper Supply. Guys, NYPrepper Supply is doing a massive sale on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnyprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. They're selling their 3-month emergency food supply for just $600. So that's $100 off the normal price. And this is 3 months of food at 2,000 calories per day. Has a shelf life of up to 25 years. And all of this is packed into 6 rugged water-resistant buckets. And free shipping is included. And they're also offering a disaster replacement warranty. So if your food supply gets destroyed by a natural disaster, they'll replace it for you with no charge. And they also will provide you with free survival books and information, including a natural disaster field guide, a survival Bible digital copy. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $100 off the NYPrepper Supply 3-month emergency food supply. And the link is in the description below this video. And we could even put missiles in Greenland as well, which would reduce the strike time if we were to strike Russia. So it's possible that Putin is kind of scared now with Trump about to take office. And Trump talking about acquiring Greenland, acquiring Canada, okay? Maybe Putin is starting to get scared and getting this boxed-in feeling, and maybe he's just going to launch nukes at the U.S. before Trump takes office, okay? But let me play this message for you.
Skymaster. One message of 4 items follows. Stand by. Yankee, Alpha, Romeo, Sierra, for NV13. I say again, one message of 4 items follows. Stand by. Yankee, Alpha, Romeo, Sierra. Over.
So he says 4 NV13, which is some kind of a bomber that's airborne. So he's giving out some kind of instructions to a bomber here, probably to arm the missiles, okay? And also this afternoon, I was hearing some B-2s off the coast of California and Oregon communicating with each other. So our bombers are definitely airborne, okay? But let me just play that back again. I mean, it always sends chills up my spine anytime I hear Skymaster.
Skymaster. One message of 4 items follows. Stand by. Yankee, Alpha, Romeo, Sierra, for NV13. I say again, one message of 4 items follows. Stand by. Yankee Alpha Romeo Sierra. Over. Is complete. One message of 4 items. This is NV13 out.
Okay, so that's the message right there. And there were dozens of these. They were coming in very weak. It was hard to pick up a lot of them, but this one came in very, very crisp, which was very rare so far today. We haven't really heard that many of them coming in super crisp. So I don't know where they're transmitting these messages from, but they're somewhere probably over the Atlantic, deep in the Atlantic or the Pacific, because I can't pick them up with European or American radios, and my home radio here can barely pick up these messages today. And I want to just show you these recon planes that have been airborne today. You can see one over Michigan here, okay, doing this east to west loop. This is an RC-135, and they have side-looking radar, so that means it was looking to the north up into Ontario and then south into Ohio and Indiana. So why would there be this recon plane doing this over Michigan? It makes absolutely no sense. Then there was also an aerial refueler up here in the Great Lakes as well. And then we have 2 recon planes here over Nebraska doing this east to west loop as well, looking up towards like northwest Canada, towards the Yukon and Alaska. Okay, so it appears to me that our military is concerned about missiles coming from the North Pole. And then here you can see another aerial refueler over northern Minnesota, and then also here in New England, an aerial refueler that was up here doing loops, which is very unusual in both of these areas here. Very strange for there to be aerial refuelers. Also, a nuke sniffer plane was airborne as well, going north to south here in the Midwest. So something's definitely going on. There was also a P-8 Poseidon sub-hunter that was scrambled from Jacksonville, and it went up here towards Virginia off of the coast of Virginia Beach. It met an aerial refueler and got aerially refueled and was doing some kind of a search pattern here off of Virginia. And remember, yesterday in my update, I showed you guys that P-8 Poseidon that was off the coast of Washington. And Washington State is where we keep most of our Trident missiles and most of our nuclear-armed submarines, okay, at Bangor Kitsap. And South Korean intelligence reported yesterday that North Korea has moved more than 250 nuclear-tipped short-range ballistic missiles to the border. North Korea would be able to launch as many as 1,000 missiles at a time with these 250 KN-24 or Hwasong-11B launchers. Okay, so they kind of look like an ATACMS missile. They have similar characteristics. They can fly 250 miles, and they are believed to be nuclear tipped. Okay, so 250 nuclear tipped short-range missiles moved to the border of South Korea and placed on high alert. Guys, that is very, very concerning. And senior Israeli officials stated today that they are not prepared to withdraw from some areas of southern Lebanon for many, many years. Okay, so they're building a whole bunch of bases in southern Lebanon and also on Mount Hermon. Okay, so basically like a soft occupation. And we have this massive wildfire raging in Los Angeles, and it looks like it's continuing to spread. And the devastation is just absolutely unreal. Look at this, guys. Absolutely insane. We were tracking it all night long, and this fire is continuing to spread due to the insane winds over there. They have those Santa Ana winds right now, gusting up to 100 miles an hour, hurricane force winds. It's going to spread this fire really, really quickly, and the winds are not going to die down until the weekend at least. Okay, So absolutely insane situation. Here we have footage coming from the Pacific Coast Highway. Okay, this is the famous highway that goes from LA to Malibu. This is where like Tony Stark, Iron Man, was driving his Audi. Okay, Robert Downey Jr. in the Iron Man movies and lots of movies, a very famous area. You can see just total devastation here, power lines down everywhere. You know, the entire city of LA could lose power because of this fire. You're talking about 5 million people losing power, okay, because this fire is raging on the outskirts in the hills. Actually, in the Hollywood Hills, there's fires raging right now, okay? This is happening right near Santa Monica, but the fire is spreading, and there's other areas now that are popping up, okay? New fires are popping up near the Hollywood Hills, near Beverly Hills, okay? So, you know, you have all the power transmission lines that come into the city, okay, through these fires. What happens if these fires take out those transmission lines? You know, I hope that they have plans to reroute the power from those transmission lines that could potentially be threatened by this fire. And here's some more footage. Absolutely insane. Look at this, guys. So here we have people that are literally fleeing their home because their neighborhood is going up in flames, and they run out of their house because their smoke detector's going off, and they step outside to their street here, and everything is just burning. Look at those trees. Those palm trees are just glowing cherry red. I mean, it just looks like something out of a movie. It doesn't even look real. Okay, here we have some footage from the air. You can see the size of this fire, and this was taken last night. So this fire is probably double or triple the size by now, but you can see this huge area here. You can see all the little lights there, all the homes and streets and everything. And you can see the scale of this fire is just absolutely massive, okay? So LA Fire Department is now asking for all active or retired firefighters to report to their local fire departments, okay? So all off-duty, retired, active, whatever, they're calling for all hands on deck, okay? Former firefighters, they need all the help they can get. So this is very, very serious. And the Russian Ministry of Defense reported that they shot down 105 Ukrainian drones last night. And tomorrow, the Danish Prime Minister is going to be having a meeting with the Danish Parliament about Trump acquiring Greenland. So this is pretty interesting. This is being reported by the Danish Berlingske. Okay, it's a newspaper in Denmark. So the Danish Parliament will be meeting tomorrow with the Prime Minister to discuss Trump buying Greenland, America buying Greenland. Absolutely crazy.
All of PCH is on fire.
But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be covering the Skymaster messages in the 24/7 live stream. I am on very high alert today. I'm monitoring the radios and keeping an eye on everything. I do expect something huge to happen very. But I haven't seen this kind of intensity of Skymaster messages since the culinary night. If you don't know what culinary night is, I recommend you watch my live stream from that night. And it's in the description below this video. I had to post it to Rumble because YouTube removed it. But basically, we were tracking U.S. nuclear bombers that were arming their missiles and potentially getting ready to launch them on Iran right after Iran attacked Israel the first time with ballistic missiles. And then those bombers were called off at the last minute, and we were listening to all the Skymaster messages being transmitted all night long. And basically today was as intense as culinary night. Okay, so potentially Russia is going to launch an Oreshnik or multiple Oreshniks at Ukraine. Potentially Russia is going to nuke America before Trump takes over. I don't know, but something's definitely going on for there to be this many Skymaster messages, and they don't do exercises like this, guys. There's a lot of people spreading misinformation that these are exercises. Anytime I report Skymaster messages, people say, oh, that's just an exercise. No, They do not do exercises on primary nuclear war frequencies. That would be like your local police department or your local fire department doing exercises on 911. You simply cannot do that because you have to have that frequency or that phone line open for emergency use. You can't clog it up with exercise traffic, okay? Because if, let's say, Russia knows that there's an exercise going on, they could suddenly decide to try to nuke us while we're doing this exercise, and we're taking up all the traffic on the primary frequencies during this exercise, and then it causes chaos and we can't communicate in time to our nuclear forces to launch a response, okay? Because everything has to be done within seconds. Seconds matter in a nuclear war situation, and if you're doing an exercise clogging up the primary nuclear war frequency, it's just like if your local police or emergency responders are using 911 for an exercise. What happens if somebody has a heart attack where literally every second matters and they can't dial 911, or the 911 operator is delayed because of that exercise? It's the same thing. It just does not happen. So anybody that tells you this is an exercise has no idea what they're talking about, and the only people who would even know if this was an exercise would be the people who are on the nuclear war command and control planes, on the doomsday planes, not some self-proclaimed expert, okay? But that's it for now. I'll be monitoring everything, and I might be back later with another update. If anything crazy happens, I will go live and update you guys live. I will be monitoring the fire in LA live the rest of the evening in the 24/7 stream, and I will be monitoring the Skymaster messages and everything else related to that live the rest of the day as well. So hopefully I'll see you in the stream. If not, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. Culinary out. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video.